I've been drawing on and off for the past 10 years or so, and I feel like I haven't really seen that much improvement. I've decided to call on our masters of our digital age by following tutorials on YouTube which have the most views. Filtering by views for how to draw a face brought me this video. Like, honestly, this tutorial was not exactly what I was expecting, but I'm gonna follow it anyways. 37 million people have viewed it, so there must be something in there that's good. Honestly, I was kind of shocked that the first instructions were to literally measure out the guidelines, but upon further reflection, I think this tutorial is actually pretty good for a beginner. So here are 3 things that I like about this tutorial. Firstly, I like how the marks by the instructor are quite confident, very dark, and very solid. I think it signals to beginners what confident lines look like. Secondly, I like how the tutorial introduces guidelines and points on where features should start, even if, in my opinion, those reference points are not necessarily grounded in reality. Either way, having guidelines really helps to relieve the stress of a blank page and not knowing where things should start. And the third thing that I like about this tutorial is the blending method that they introduce. It's something that I don't really do typically because I usually work in pen, but I think it's a very easy way for artists to implement shadow and to bring depth into their drawings if they use softer leads, such as like a 2B pencil or something like that. So this is it. This was the tutorial. I followed easy way to draw a girl face. I mean, yes, it is girl face. Okay, what do I like about it? I'm not sure. Well, for me, this was, following this tutorial, it just made me uncomfortable. If you're still watching, thank you. My artistic abilities are a bit different. So yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can see my artistic growth and my artistic journey. So while I am seeking out videos that have the most views, I did also choose to find the video that YouTube thinks is the most relevant so that I get some extra learning. Searching how to draw faces brought up Sam Does Art's video. His video shows a routine that he does of how he studies and draws faces. It's got 3 discrete exercises which I followed. He starts off his routine with 10 minutes of anatomy studies as a warm-up.
So just to briefly talk about these skulls, I try to draw them from different angles, and you can see here that this whole sheet took about 10 minutes. We're going to be going at a very fast pace for this, and we are only using lines and very, very basic shading.
I'm like trying to hype myself up for it. I'm a bit, because I want this to be better than my previous one. Stop. Okay, never mind. It's crazy how like 10 minutes of just improvement you can see. Like from here to, wow, you know, I'm kind of shocked. I'm thoroughly impressed. All goes to show you, just sit down, just do it. You will surprise yourself like how I have surprised myself. Like while you're doing it, it does seem a bit difficult, but then you look back and you're like, oh, it's actually kind of good. I am pleasantly surprised. After this warm-up, he then draws quick portraits using references from Pinterest, with each drawing being about 3.5 minutes.
Peace. So 20 minutes for this means these were about 3.5 minutes each. Some might have taken longer, some might have been shorter. Again, we are speed.
Okay, well, the timer started. For me, drawing those portraits in 3.5 minutes each requires a lot of concentration and a lot of focus. So I got pretty drained after 3, and I don't know how he did that for 20 minutes on straight. Like, props to him. Oh, man. So after each set of drawings, Sam, he analyzes what felt wrong or what he doesn't really like in his previous drawings, and then he does an exercise in order to address that. So in this video, he does some contour drawings because he wants to feel a little more fluid, a little bit more loose with his line work.
So in the previous pages, I noticed stiffness in my lines. In the next page, we are doing a contour drawing to eliminate that stiffness in my lines.
I don't know where to start. The point is looseness. I don't necessarily think what I need to work on most is the fluidity of my line work. Sam's next exercise is to focus on stylization. I'm not entirely sure exactly what my style of drawing is for portraits yet. And I've realized that I definitely need to embed down some foundations more. Like, I need to work on the sizing of the faces on the paper and just general anatomy more. I mean, it's definitely a process. The other thing that I wanted to improve on was facial expressions. Being able to draw more than just like the smile, just the neutral face. Searching up the most viewed video was Emery Chu's video on how she draws expressions. As per Emery Chu's recommendation, I spent some time doing a little 25 expression character sheet. I found this a little bit difficult because I felt like I didn't have any consistency with drawing faces. I just really simplified it down, like little dot eyes, little L noses. But I tried to just convey the expression by manipulating the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouths as much as possible. The points that she raises is that eyebrows, eyes, and mouths make up a large part of how an expression is read. The second point that I quite like in her video is that she recommends to use references and to also observe what people look like in real life when they're doing expressions. Thirdly, she also makes a great point about how personality influences expression. Happiness in one character is not necessarily how another character with a different personality would express that happiness. So in line with the tutorial of the faces, I also searched up what would be most recommended to me when I search up how to draw expressions, and Mark Roune's video came up for me. What I like about Mark's videos in general is that he breaks things down into really understandable portions. What I like about this particular video is, firstly, in contrast to Emery Chu's video, Mark also highlights the cheekbone muscle. He highlights that the movement of the cheekbone muscle as well as your eyelids, they are influenced by how your eyebrows and your mouth moves. And I think this additional point really makes a difference and brings a lot of realism into the expression that you're trying to convey. Secondly, I like how Mark starts off with some really simple drawings, and then as he progresses on with the different levels, he then applies them into more complex figures. And thirdly, I think it's just very satisfying to watch someone who is very confident and very good at drawing, draw well.
Why does he make it look so easy, you know? I guess years of experience, huh?
For me, the one thing that I've been struggling with, especially while I'll be creating this particular video that you're watching right now, is this feeling of comparison. I watch these tutorials and these guidance videos, and I just can't help but compare their art with my art, my process with their process, and like it's different, right? It's like I'm expecting myself to be able to compete with Olympians when I've never done competitive sport in my life. So these feelings of just like, I don't know, like doubt, I guess, have continued to spark the creative urge in me. Like I'm trying to push through it in order to improve. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.